Nightwish. Nightwish are pretty good. They're kind of emo. Oh yeah! Guess what, guys? Guess what we have? Oh, could it be? Could it be another mirror matchup? Oh, goody, goody, goody! I do love me my mirrors. What is that? 5 in a row? 5 in a row? Yeah! Let's go for 6. Let's go for 6. Come on, let's have a PvP ace match as well. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on, baby. Come on. It's gonna be flying. Best versus flying. Alright. Holy shit, flying is 6-1 in StarCraft 2. Look at that. It's pretty sick. Pretty good. So that's fantastic, and I'm just gonna eat another chocolate eclair because they're freaking delicious. And I need to console myself about the 5th mirror matchup in a row. And spawning as the red Protoss in the top right corner, we have SK Telecom T1's best. And in the bottom left, as the blue Protoss. Playing for Moonjin Stars, we will have flying. So, the score is 1-1 in this StarCraft 2 best of 3. Since SKT did take the Brood War set, Stars still needs to win this to take it to an ace match. If Best can win it, then that will be it for the day. But you see, I think Stars needs to win this so we can have a PvP ace match. I think that would be the ideal situation here. Just another PvP would be fantastic. I mean, SKT will probably send out Sun, right? So all Stars have to do is not send out like Sulky or whatever. Just have to send out random Protoss, and it's all good. So looks like no crazy cheesiness. Sorry. We have seen on this map a couple of times that in PvP, one player actually goes for sends out an early probe and goes for a double gas steal on his opponent, which is kind of crazy. And then follow it up with Stargate and shit. But neither player doing that this time. Both just going for the 13th gate, the economic opening, getting their gas. If you look at the production tab, it's almost identical. And yeah, nothing crazy. Just gonna get a cybernetic score. All good. Now this map, going for 3-gate blink stalker with obs is pretty good strategy considering how much space you have to blink into the main. Essentially, there's just the whole surface area around the main base by the 3rd and everything that you can blink up onto. So it's super annoying to deal with. I actually hate this map in PvP because it's pretty hard going Nexus first to hold off blink stalkers with so much surface area. I always need to build a couple extra cannons, which kind of blows. But anyway, we do have a a second gateway on the way, so this could just be a 3 stalker opening from what's his face? Best. There we go, Best. He has started first stalker now, and presumably that will finish around the same time the second gateway finishes. Meanwhile, we see exactly the same thing on the other side from flying. So both players opening up 3 stalker. Sweet. In the meantime, I'm going to finish off this eclair. Yum yum yum. Yep, and we do have a blink follow-up, as you can see on the production tab. This is interesting. So, Best went for the first Stalker, and then the Twilight, and then 2 Stalkers. Flying went for his 3 Stalkers first, so he did Stalker, 2 Stalkers, and then the Twilight. So Best blink is going to be a little bit faster, but Flying will have a momentary Stalker advantage. Or I guess if both players macro perfectly, he'll hold on to the Stalker advantage until the first engagement. And this is actually very, very interesting. This actually kind of reminds me of in Brood War PvP when one player kind of delays his range for whatever reason, like goes for a fast robo. And you can have these really funny timings where, like, you have ranged goons versus non-ranged goons, where the ranged goons just demolish them. And similarly, obviously, if you have blink stalkers versus stalkers without blink, you can quite easily out-micro them. So, the thing is that the window here is going to be extremely narrow though, so I really doubt Best will be able to hit anything here with that slightly faster blink, but I mean we'll see, I guess. And you know what? Now that I think about this, the build from Best going for the Twilight and then the 2 Stalkers kind of makes more sense, because I think once Warp Gate finishes, because his Warp Gate is going to finish at the same time as Flying's, so as long as getting those 2 Stalkers a little bit later doesn't delay your Warp Gate, your overall Stalker count doesn't fall behind, right? Because the thing is, if you get your second and third Stalkers later, it doesn't matter, because for the 4th and 5th, you have to wait for Warp Gate to finish anyway. So as long as your Warp Gate's on time, I think you stay equal in Stalkers anyway, and your blink is faster. But although on the other hand, it's not like the faster blink really does too much anyway. So like as you can see, Best got his blink, but then it doesn't really matter. His opponent's going to finish the blink as well. Although it doesn't matter in this, I should quantify that a bit. It doesn't matter in this case because Flying went for blink stalkers as well. But you know, if it was some other opening where he might want the blink stalkers, I'm not really sure how it would work. Anyway. And of course, he could only do this because he scouted Flying space earlier on, so he knew that Flying was going for like 3 Stalker opening as well. Because otherwise, you know, not getting the second and third, or delaying the second and third Stalkers would be quite risky. I'm pretty sure you just like die to a 48 or something. Anyway, we're going to see an expansion here from Best, whereas we just see 4 gateways and that robo for Flying. So Best definitely going to be on the defensive here. He's, as you can see, he's queued up an Immortal right after his Observer, but we do have, wow, look at that, 2 Immortals on the way for Flying. So Best gonna have to be a little bit defensive here, gonna have to be a little bit careful. And it looks like he does lose his first Observer though, so not gonna see the move out here from Flying, but I guess he can assume that the Stalkers are moving out. And well, he's just gotta be very, very careful here with his own blink stalkers. Maybe he wants to run forward, try and pick off a stalker or 2, and then blink back. You know, that kind of thing. Just you know, whittle down the forces as they're approaching his base. But it looks like he's still just staying back a little bit here, and chronoing out his Immortals as well. It is 13 stalkers for Flying against just the 10 for Best, but Best does have an additional sentries though. He's got 2 sentries against 1. Let's see if that really makes a difference here. Of course, the blink stalkers won't mind the force fields too much, but sectioning off the Immortals, of course, will actually be extremely critical in these engagements where it's primarily blink stalker unit compositions. So looks like there is the proxy pylon, and the thing is, you know, now it's Flying has a lot of choices here. You see, he can blink into the main, or he can go for the front here. And just holding on to this position, there's no real way for Best to kind of anticipate which way he's going. Like, you know, he can kind of poke in the front here, scare Best a little bit, and then just blink into the main. And look, he has blinked just 2 stalkers in the main, just going to pick off some probes. I like the fact that he's not blinking up everything, just going to do a little bit of light harassment here, not going to overcommit with his stalkers. And yeah, just going to blink out here. I think he killed 1, maybe 2 probes there. Either way, just being a little bit annoying here. Warping in another round of Zealots. Still no expansion from him. He's just going for it here. And there is the big, there are the two force fields here. Sectioning off most of the units here. Wow, a much better concave at the beginning there for Best, but he did waste a few immortal shots on some Zealots there at the front. And now it looks like the concaves have evened out. The lines, the firing lines have been drawn here. I'm not sure who's getting the best of this engagement. One immortal though for flying at the back is not shooting. One immortal was not shooting there, and a third immortal does come out for Best, and Best looks like he is going to take this. Best is going to hold on here. Flying is in a lot of trouble here. Oh my god, Flying losing everything here, and it looks like SKT is going to take the series here. GG immediately. Flying knows he can't do it, and Best closes out the series for SK Telecom. They will defeat Wongjin Stars here and cause a crazy situation going into the last 2 weeks of Pro League. Ladies and gentlemen, the middle 4 teams are all tied. The 4 teams will be fighting for 2 playoff spots, essentially, assuming that no craziness happens with CJ and Team 8. So wow, this is going to be very, very interesting. Oh man, it's going to be so intense. Going into the last 2 weeks, oh, I'm excited, I'm excited. Hopefully this means that we see really high quality games as well, because all the teams will be practicing super duper hard to make sure they get those wins. Anyway, that also means that we will unfortunately not be able to get